So George, I'm an instructional designer. I have helped many faculty in my career. My colleagues watching this may be instructional designers helping faculty. So I guess one question we have is, how do we help faculty integrate VoiceThread into a course? And what are some design considerations that we should know up front that we're going to encounter that VoiceThread has handled, and we could sort of work through those? What are the things that, let's say, faculty are going to be confused about, apprehensive about, and how do we get over that hump?
Yeah, so the number one thing, and you'll experience this not just with faculty, but with students as well,
Okay.
if they've never heard their voice recorded, right?
Uh-huh.
When the first time you do it, you listen to your voice play back, and almost everyone has the same reaction. They say, "Do I sound like that? Why do I sound so funny?" We're
Right.
not used to hearing our own voice, right? So if you're a student that is used to being on TikTok, used to being making Instagram reels, you're used to being out there in social media, or you're a faculty member that's
Sure.
used to teaching online and recording and things like that, it's not as big of a challenge. So it's becoming less of a challenge as people get more comfortable with recording, but it's still an issue for a lot of people, especially older faculty who may just be getting into the online teaching game for the first time. So the big thing that we've noticed, and there's been research done on this,
Hmm.
that in the beginning you're going to sound different to yourself. You're not going to believe that that's how you sound, but you're going to get over that very quickly. So the big trick is to just get in there and get to work and start recording voice threads. And usually within about 3 weeks of a class that uses VoiceThread, the students no longer mind recording their voice. The teacher no longer minds recording the voice. And by the end of the class, everyone prefers it to typing. So overwhelming percentage. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it
Yeah.
was something in the upwards of 80, 90%.
Great.
So it started off with a tentativeness, and then it became, we can't not do this, right? So that's one of the big things to be aware of as an instructional designer. But I think from an onboarding standpoint, the big thing that I always try and tell people is that in education, as a teacher, you always want to scaffold concepts for students, right? That's a fundamental pedagogical principle. The same is true with an instructional designer dealing with a faculty member. So you may be having, a number of professors come visit you and you have to work on their class. You don't want to dive into the deep end right away. You want to start off small, help them out, and gradually pull away the scaffold and let them kind of take over some responsibility as they go. So when it comes to integrating VoiceThread into a learning management system, what I always tell people is you want to get used to sharing VoiceThreads, what we call the individual VoiceThread link, which is a non-graded VoiceThread. It's the
Okay.
simplest way just to share a VoiceThread. So get familiar with that and get used to the tool. Get used to the rhythms of asynchronous conversation. Get used to recording yourself. Get used to reacting and responding and giving feedback. And then once you're comfortable with the basics, then move on to the graded activities. So we have 3 different graded assignment types that you can make, but wait on those for a few weeks. Get comfortable with the tool first and gradually pull back some of the scaffolding, and then you can start to take on bigger and better things.